Welcome to Creating Success in the Mess, where we talk about just that, creating success in the mess of this thing we call life.
We're your hosts, Corey and Whitney, a husband and wife team that does life and business together.
In this podcast, we share our struggles and funny moments as we have journeyed growing our family, our faith, and businesses.
We share inspiration, motivation, and practical tips and tricks to help you build yourself and a life you love.
We invite you to join us every week on the podcast, and we can't wait to create success in the mess together. We have a topic we're talking about this week that is actually stemming from something somebody said to me. And at first I was like, what? But now I can't not stop thinking about it.
So we have to talk about it.
Yeah, we have to work this out. And I am no master at this.
Oh, no. We struggle with this.
Yeah.
When you told me about what they said, I was like, oh my God, this sounds like my life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our life and it's what we live and we deal with daily, but I never even thought of it this way until they said what they said. And at first I was like, whoa. And then I was like, wait a minute, does that even make sense? I mean, I think it makes sense.
It sounds a little stupid. But then when you really actually sit in yourself and you think about it.
Yeah. And then you start living every day and you're like, here it is. Here's exactly what she said.
Yeah. It's addictive.
It's a problem.
It's an issue
that we are working on uncovering, figuring out, dissecting, working through, and getting rid of.
Okay. It's been a minute and a half. We can't hold you guys any longer. You're like, just can you get to the topic.
Right.
Come on, I'm used to scrolling 9-second videos. I need to know what this is. Here's the thing. I think we're addicted to struggling. That's the topic. That's what we're discussing today. I actually think we love struggling. We like talking crap about it. We like bringing it up to our friends. Oh, man, just a struggle. Every time I hear someone's like, man, I'm living the dream. I'm like, what? What does that even mean, man? I'm living the dream. What, working all your hours just to send your paychecks off, just to pay every high bill that we all got these days?
Right.
Like, that's not living. Living the dream is like a 5-year-old, like, I'm going to go ride the bikes through these hills. I don't even give a crap what happens, how much it costs. I'm just going to do it. That's living the dream. We don't do that when we wake up and clock into work. But why do we do it? Because we actually are addicted to the struggle.
I think we're addicted to it, and I think we have all watched this our entire life.
Oh, I know I watched it.
And I think that we just took this on as a way of being and never really even thought about it. So let me tell you what was going on. I am sitting in a space in my life where there are things that are not serving me. Like, it's not working. It's just not fun. It's not enjoyable. It's not producing well. You know, I have a lot going on and it's just a season where some things need to change and some things need to become other things and some things need to consolidate. And, you know, it's just one of those seasons in life where, like, resituating needs to happen. Yes. Because what I was telling her was, I feel like I am like a hamster on a wheel. I'm just in this cage and I'm on this hamster wheel and I'm just running and running and running and I'm just running in circles and I'm not actually getting anywhere, and this actually isn't producing, you know, much of anything worth anything. And it's just like I am this exhausted hamster on this wheel that is just running. And not, you know, I'm not enjoying the wheel. Like, I'm not, you know, I consciously recognize and know things need to change. And so then when I go to make changes, I can say, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, it's going. Like, I'm getting rid of this and I'm going to focus on this. And this is the direction. And this is what's staying, you know, this is what's going. But then when it's time to actually produce in the things that are staying, I am not necessarily putting into place things that I actually want, right? Like, I'm making decisions that keep me on this hamster wheel. And she said, well, what if you X, Y, and Z? And she gave me examples and I was like, oh yeah, like those are great ideas and it is in my plan, but I don't think, I can do that right at this second, but down the road. And she was like, but this is like the answer to getting off the hamster wheel.
You're not going to do it down the road.
And right, because all you're doing is filling your time with things that are keeping you on this hamster wheel. And I was like, oh, I think you're right. And she said, I think that there are so many of us that have an addiction to struggling through hard work. And when she said that, I was like, whoa. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I watched and I was raised with work ethic.
Yeah.
And hard work. And you do hard work. And to be quite frank, I think we both have an A+ in the lesson of work hard for little. Simply because that's just what we allow. Like, that's what we do.
It's what we saw, so we thought that was supposed to be, that was like our norm. And I mean, like, for me, I feel like when I'm the hamster, when I'm on my wheel, right? Mm-hmm. And let's just be honest, let's call it out what it is. The wheel is the struggle. Yeah. We are the hamster. And nothing is wrong with the hamster. The hamster was made perfectly and unique, and it is the way it is. But when the hamster chooses to be on that wheel, the wheel is the struggle, and that's what gets addictive, because when you focus on the wheel spinning, that's what you think progress is. But the hamster isn't moving anywhere. It's staying at the 0 level gravity in the wheel.
Right.
And some of us, I think, have, our wheels are maybe aluminum and cheaply made. And other people, like, you have a silver wheel or a gold wheel. And I think what I'm trying to say here is, just because you make more money or less money, your wheel is just a different kind of metal. But it can be the same thing.
Right. So, like, what you're saying is,
I'm living the dream because I make over $200K a year.
That's a gold wheel.
It's a gold. Well, congratulations. You're on how are you making it?
Right.
The way I see you making it, and the way I see, like, your emotions in your face and how you actually truly feel.
Right.
Yeah, you're on a gold-plated hamster wheel.
Right. Like, the hamster on that gold wheel is exhausted.
Yeah.
And burned out. And, like, just getting up, like Groundhog Day. Like, reliving over and over and over. And I think that there are easier ways, but I think that a lot of us have the belief system that maybe we recognize is there and maybe we don't recognize is there. But, like, if we were to do things in an easier way, maybe me sitting here and painting something one by one and charging a lower amount, is hard work. And, like, that's what I'm doing. That's what that's my daily grind. That's my will, right? Yeah. But I could video and then I could sell that tutorial, and that's passive income. Yeah. And that wouldn't require me to sit here on this wheel, like, all day long producing in a rat race. Like, it would free up some space for me to, get off the wheel and to do something else rather than sit here and work hard reproducing a canvas or, going to a certain job like that you've done for 10 years, but it's just, not serving anymore. Yeah. And
I think that is the key. Like, it has to do with serving. Like, if your purpose is being used, and, like, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel as if, like, you're making a difference in the world.
You will feel exhausted like you're running on a wheel.
And so it doesn't mean, like, you have to be an entrepreneur. Like, you can totally, like, do your thing. You can work for someone and you can run something. It doesn't matter what level you're at. The key is, how do you feel after you do it?
Right. That's exactly right. And I mean, this is, like, across our like, this is in our relationships. This is in our parenting. This is in our work life. I mean, this is, like, infiltrated everything. This idea of working hard for something. Because if a lot of us, I think, believe if we don't work hard, then we're considered what? Lazy. Yeah. Or gifted. Or, all of these things. And in reality, all those thoughts and those beliefs that, we might be lazy if we don't work hard, or we might be selfish if we, don't actually work hard or put the hours in, or those things that our mind says whenever we think of, like, an easier way to make money or a more fulfilling way that we could, do parenting, or, that's not normal. That's not the right way. All those thoughts, those are our underlying beliefs that are actually keeping us addicted to the struggle.
I used to think that people who had passive income was like, they got lucky.
Yeah.
And then I would attribute to myself personally, well, I don't get lucky, so I'll never have passive income. And when you say that, guess what? You'll never have it.
Exactly.
And so what has held me back for so long from being able to get into my ideas, my things, and my products are worthy of passive income. Right?
Right.
And until you get to a place where you're like, no, it's not luck, it's just action. And you start putting your energy into wanting passive income, and you start taking steps, and you start trying to learn along the way, well, where energy goes, money flows.
Right.
And it's not luck. But when you sit back in the beginning, you just see other people like, well, they're lucky.
Right.
And it's just kind of like, well, realistically, what I'm saying is they're lucky, but actually what I'm actually saying is, oh, I can never be that lucky.
Right.
Because it's what I want.
Right.
It's what you would want.
Right.
And oftentimes, what we actually want for ourselves, we're going to critique to others.
Right.
And we're going to push off to others. And we like to put this little tinted glass window to try to hide what we actually want inside. And when you do that, hey, buddy, you're jumping on the hamster wheel.
Right.
Because you're addicted to the struggle.
Right. And this is like I said, I think it infiltrates throughout our entire life. It's not just our work life. It's our, everything. So for me, like when she said this at first, I really had to sit with it. I really had to think about it. And I was like, ooh, that hits something. But I couldn't necessarily sit here and tell you anything more than like I was on this hamster wheel. Right. And it made sense then. And so then after I kind of sat with it and I thought about it, throughout my days, I started recognizing, wait, why is this struggle, isn't even necessary? Right. I really could actually do this different. And so if this is you, if this hit you, I would suggest sitting with it for a minute, a day, whatever, and thinking about it a little bit because it did take me a minute to wrap my brain around it. And then start identifying points in your life. So like for me, I would start feeling frustrated. And I would think, wait a minute, why am I feeling so frustrated right now? Well, I'm feeling frustrated right now because I have this pressure that I need to clean this house. Every day I need to get the vacuum out and vacuum up this dog hair, right? And so in my mind, I have this struggle. I'm addicted to the idea that I need to keep my house clean, or that I need to keep my sink empty, or that, I need to keep my kids going to bed at X, Y, and Z times. So it's maybe easier to identify in your personal daily routine type of things than your professional life. Maybe it's easier for your professional life. But my suggestion from the place that I am in now is after you kind of sit with it and think about it, start when you feel frustrated about something or when you feel that, pressure of I can't stand going home and getting the vacuum out, but I really just have to get the vacuum out. Do you really just have to get the vacuum out?
It didn't go anywhere.
No.
And whatever adds up, the hair's just going to add up in the corner.
Right.
So if you get it out.
Can you just get the vacuum out tomorrow? Can you get the vacuum out every other day? Do you actually have to get the vacuum out? No, you don't have to. That is your addiction to struggling.
Yeah.
That is you putting yourself on the hamster wheel.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times with me, when I think of those situations, like with the vacuuming, and I'm like, why am I doing this every day? I don't have to do this every day. I think back when I was a kid, is this what I saw? Was dog hair not allowed to be in place in my house growing up? And it starts to make me think is this what has kind of taken me into jumping in?
Where is the pressure stemming from?
Yeah.
The, being normal, just the way of life that you always saw. If you do different, you wouldn't be pleasing. Would you disappoint somebody? Examine the why. But at first you have to identify.
Right.
At first you have to identify you're actually putting your hamster on the wheel by being addicted to struggling, essentially.
In my 20s, when I started my career in education, I would wake up at 5:30 a.m. and I would get up and I would be one of the first people in the school building and I would do all my planning and all this work and all this stuff, right? and everything. And then later on, and I always feel like, oh, I'm a morning person. I am most productive in morning. Like, that's morning time is my time. And then now everyone's like, Dad is not a morning person.
He is the last.
I am not a morning person, but I thought I was because I saw my parents. I heard that alarm go off. I heard them get up. I heard them get ready. They dropped us off, or we got on the bus, and like everyone was out the door, and it was like the sun was barely even beaming, you know. And it was like, if you're gonna be successful in life, son, you better get yourself up before the sun comes up and get your day going.
Hard work.
You know, for someone that could be true. If you are a morning person, like, hey, that's your time zone. Like, go for it. But I thought that is what was true for all of us, not realizing what was best for me.
Right.
And so jumping on that early morning hamster wheel,
right?
I'm going to bed like at 9 p.m.
No, you couldn't even function come 3 p.m. You needed a nap. Like, you were literally done and out from 3 p.m. to the time that you actually went to bed. Just because you were on that wheel all from 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. you were on that wheel, and it sucked every little bit of energy you had out getting on that hard work wheel.
Yeah. And even now, like, I realize, like, I'm not a morning person, but man, I still struggle. Yeah. Sometimes, like, I'm over here just like tapping my wrist, like looking at a watch and it's not even on it. I'm just like over here like checking my phone, like, oh my God, we better get going. It's like, where do we have to be? Like, we don't have an expiration date, dude.
Right.
But it's like, man, you can be ingrained for so long of how something is supposed to be done that you think it is true for yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, how do you break that cycle? As simple as just when you're supposed to get up and start your day.
Right. That's why when she said that to me, I was like, whoa, I think this could be something. And then the more I sat with it, the more I started really identifying all the places. Like, in the moment, I will recognize now, like, ooh, I'm putting my hamster up on a wheel right now.
Yeah.
Like, that is the point where I'm at. And when you can get to that identifying stage of, like, I'm putting my hamster on a wheel right now, it gets kind of awkward. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to lie, it gets kind of awkward.
It's not how your system has been designed for you set up.
Yeah. You still have this thing of, like, I need to do this. Now you've identified and you're like, but I really don't have to do this. Well, then the next step is action of doing different or not doing, like the action is the next step, and that part can be a little bit uncomfortable at first because you have to take the leap with courage to be like, no, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm not actually going to get the vacuum out today. I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and the dog hair is gonna sit there, and I'm not putting my hamster on the wheel. And at that point, that's when you start really making change in your, like, getting that hamster off the wheel part of the time. And when you can get him off the wheel part of the time, you can really start to breathe, and then things come easier.
Well, and the reason why I think is, when you're on the wheel, we only get 24 hours a day. We're going to sleep 6 to 8 hours. Like, that's a guarantee. So when you're jumping on this wheel for the other 14, 18 hours of your day, and you start finding areas of your life where you're like, I'm not jumping on this wheel here, you begin to open yourself up for opportunities that are more true to yourself and a little bit more enjoyable and a little bit more a way of, like, leading your life the way that you actually want to.
Right.
And so sometimes what we just need is, what is one thing that we can work on today? What is one thing that I can say, like, yeah, you know what? This part of my life is the hamster wheel, and I can see how I can jump off here.
Right.
So let me do that.
Yep.
That's a step.
Yes.
And you may not know what's going to come with it. Actually, I'm going to guarantee 99% of the time, you don't know what's going to come with it. But man, talk about just like the excitement of the adventure of just getting off the wheel and seeing, I actually wonder what will come with this. I want to enjoy what comes with this. I am not sure. I'm sitting at a table at dinner and I am ready for dessert and I don't know what the options are, but I'm telling the waiter, you bring me what you like.
Right.
Because today I'm going to eat whatever. And I'm just curious, what's going to get put right here in front of my hands?
Right.
What will I enjoy?
Yes. Take the little small steps, the attainable points, which may be as simple as leaving a cup in the sink or not getting the vacuum out, or it could be something super simple. and start making the adjustments there. And then before you know it, you may be not clocking into the 9 to 5 anymore. You may be turning a part of your business that isn't serving you anymore into a passive revenue stream that doesn't require hard work. You have no idea what is going to come just by you showing up and allowing it to be okay not to be addicted to the struggle.
Right.
When you set the tone that you are no longer going to be tied and bound and controlled by thinking that it has to be hard work or thinking that it has to be exhausting or tiring or a struggle, you are creating the space to play in who knows what amazing things. Right. So one small choice today can make the life change tomorrow.
If you would like help, if you'd like to find a way that you could do this in your life, we would love to connect with you. Reach out to us. We're all over social media. You can find a message button somewhere. You can find a way to get a hold of us. Reach out. We would love to connect with you, and we can sit down and we can help you along your journey today.
Thank you so much for listening. We know that we all get busy trying to do life, and our hope is that we can find ways to implement time and space to create a life we love living every day on our terms, right in the middle of all the messes of life.
We hope that you've been inspired and our conversation will help you in some way, and it would be so amazing if you share this conversation with somebody that you think would really benefit from hearing it. You can text someone the link, or you can share it via email or on your social media pages. And please, we would love for you to leave us a review on whatever platform you are listening on, because it helps us so much. The more reviews we have, the more people that will find our show, and our ultimate goal is for everyone to feel inspired, to find ways to create their own success right in the middle of all the mess. And no, they are not alone in doing so.
And finally, we'd love for you to join our weekly email list so that we can connect on a deeper level and you can always be in the know of our new release events and opportunities.